Welcome back. You're watching News X. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Close to 69,000 crore rupees have been looted by China through its mobile phone companies operating in India. After Xiaomi, Huawei, and Vivo are now under ED scanner for more money laundering. The billions were repatriated back to China by these companies, dodging taxes and looting India. China has put together a systematic modus operandi of economic warfare. This begins by them dominating a particular sector, such as mobile phones, increasing consumer base, then stealing not just billions but also sensitive data. It's not fraudulent practices, but the directors of these companies that have also fled India. How do we identify these local links, expatriate these directors, and prosecute them is one part of the discussion. And the other that we're also going to ask is how to counter China's economic warfare, which has been going on for quite some time now. Joining me on the program is Ambassador Sikri, former diplomat. Also joining us on the show is Major General Dhruv Katoch, Strategic and Global Affair Expert, Director of India Foundation. Sharat Kohli, Senior Economist, also joins us on the show. Mr. Vijay Kranti, China and Foreign Policy Expert, joins us on the program as well. And last but by no means the least, Mr. Shrikant Kondapalli, China and Foreign Policy Expert, joining us on the program as well. Sharat Kohli, if I can start by asking you, how do you think China, the number one adversary of India on a multitude of platforms, was able to pull off a fantastic amount to the range of 70,000 crores and evade taxes, and have some of their important members of companies also flee the country?
Well, let me put it in simple terms, Vineet. When a foreign company is functional in India, there are three ways it can take the money out. First is it can repatriate the capital, which it had introduced initially, number one, but that was not the case because the companies were still functional. Second, when it earns profits, it can repatriate by way of dividends. That's the second methodology. The third methodology, which has been adopted here, is that when you're making bumper profits, or when you find that your profits are probably too much to pay taxes, that's what they felt. What you can do is ask your parent company to send you an invoice of something which is non-existent, say a royalty, or some kind of services being given, or some kind of supplies which never came, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you've got a million things in a company's profit and loss account. You can fetch an invoice. So what these companies did was they fetched these invoices, and there is something under the tax laws which is called transfer pricing. So they blatantly violated transfer pricing regulations, and huge sums of money, 69,000 crores in the given case, was siphoned out. In case of Huawei, 750 crores. Same happened with Xiaomi as well. So that money was siphoned. So this is the first blemish. So the first evasion is of tax, where they tried to bypass the Indian tax provisions by booking expenses in their profit and loss account to reduce the profit and not to pay taxes. This is fault number one. Fault number two, this money was siphoned off in some cases through tax havens, which is places like Cayman Islands or other tax havens where there is no tax. So the money, instead of going to a Shanghai or to a Beijing or whatever, the money first went to these tax havens and they were routed through there. So that is the second offense. The third offense, which is even more grave, is in some of the cases it is suspected, I'm not sure if this is confirmed, this will be subject to investigation, that the money has probably taken the Hawala route as well. Now here are the questions. That when the successive tranches of the payments were going out from India, I think RBI and the bankers who are involved, we all know that now your dealers are the bankers. So the bankers seek permission of RBI. So why were these bankers allowing tranches one after the other? Because 69,000 crores did not go in one tranche. Why were they allowing one tranche after the other without verifying and without cross-checking if this money is tax-paid, if this money is being laundered, if this money is being taken out of the country illegitimately? They should have checked. So I think apart from the Chinese director fleeing the country, and a word about the Chinese directors also. When a company is working in India, the directors, it is normal for them to travel in and out of the country. They would say, we are here to attend a board meeting, we are here to probably give directions to the staff to attend a staff meeting or whatever, a customer meeting. I think in the normal course, these directors kept traveling, and by the time this came to light, they were already out of the country. Otherwise, the immigration would have stopped them. So I think somewhere the speed of investigation Vineet, has also been slow. I think there's a question mark on in what speed have we investigated, because by the time they were already back in their country, and we can forget about their being extradited. There's no chance. I think the only way now is to block the operations of these companies in India, which will force these persons to come back to India and answer the question. So I have explained in simple terms the modus operandi, Vineet, which will help my co-panelists also in taking this forward.
Hmm.